Hey there, folks. Welcome in. This is Meg Lavelle, and we are live with the main event with Meg Lavelle. Folks, welcome our guest tonight, Mr. Jacques Louis Francais, the crazy Canadian himself. Vaughn, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Meg?
Most excellent. I'm just so glad to have you on tonight. For those of you who haven't seen the work of this crazy Canadian, you can see him, I'm sure, on multiple YouTube videos for Crown of Maine Wrestling and Maine Premier Wrestling as well. Him and his partner, the Hype Man Ray Racy, can be seen, totally dominating the tag team division over the years in Maine Wrestling. And it's just a pleasure to have you on tonight. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. Yvonne, how long have you been in the professional wrestling industry?
Together, I've been for four, 14, 14, 15 years.
That's amazing.
Started,
That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. When did your love of professional wrestling begin?
Just like anybody else, I was a fan of wrestling. I remember scrolling through the TV with my father one night, and we saw the Superstation TBS with Jim Crockett Promotions and Ric Flair. Um, and I had my dad stop. I said, "Dad, go back. I want to see what it is." And my first match I ever saw was Steiner Brothers
Oh,
and Doom, which consisted of I want to Butch Reed and Farouk. I can't remember his real name. Simmons.
yes,
It
Ron
was for
Simmons.
it was
Yes,
for the WCW Tag Team Championships, and got hooked ever since.
that's amazing. I was gonna say Steiner Brothers. I
Yeah.
um definitely like as a joke, I tell people that because as you know, I married a professional wrestler and every Saturday we spend our days together watching like old WCW pay-per-views, just old like so I make the joke that I'm getting my master's degree in like professional wrestling history 101, you know. So
Well, absolutely.
it's like Steiner's, I know who that is now 5 years ago. I would have no idea. Um but
Fair enough.
yeah, so no, I love the work of the Steiner brothers, and I love the fact that now we're seeing Braun Breaker coming up,
Absolutely.
on the ladder as well.
Great
Like I
talent.
love seeing like multi generations of the families, going
Yep,
through the
absolutely.
yeah. Um okay, so what wrestlers now you said like this match was the Steiners and Ron Simmons. Now, what
Yeah.
wrestlers though got you hooked? Like you saw the guy, like that guy's cool. I want to know everything. I want to watch everything. Who got and you can have multiple answers for this too, because
Sure.
I know I do. So
Um, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say Hogan is on top of the list, obviously. I mean, every kid back in the day knew who Hulk Hogan was. So he was one. Loved the Junkyard Dog.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I loved him. He was such a great character. But the one that really hooked, line, and sinkered was the Undertaker. That's
And
number
you got
one.
like early day, like he thought he was gonna be the gobbledygooker Undertaker. Like that was a I love going back and watching classic Undertaker just because
Yeah,
it was like that element of mystery, like who is this guy? And just he was a complete badass, like the whole package. I mean, still is to this day, but like
absolutely.
to go back in time and watch like that's our Thanksgiving tradition in our house. We watch his debut match, the pay-per-view, because it's like it has
Absolutely.
gobbledygooker, so of course it's
I'm
Thanksgiving,
glad it wasn't the Gobbledygooker. I'm telling you what.
right? Like I watched an interview with him and he was like, I was afraid I was gonna be the Eggman. Like the guy jumping out of the egg, and I'm like, could you imagine? And
No,
now we
no.
fast forward to modern day, and everyone's comparing the Danhausen reveal as the gobbledygooker, like, "What's in the crate?" And then it was
Yeah,
him. Like,
yeah,
I'm not upset by it, but yeah. Yes, really glad that The Undertaker was not a gobbledygooker. I'm glad he stuck with the industry as long as he has.
yes, yes,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. So you've been wrestling for roughly about 15 years, you said. So,
roughly, yeah.
who gave you your first shot, your first booking?
Um, Ryan Michaels Colford with Global Independent Wrestling was back in 2013. Um, I kind of knew him a little bit, through other, people like Neil Day. I knew him from the start. Um, he told me, "Hey, come down as a manager. We'll see. We'll get you something down there." And come to find out, he wanted to put me in a match. So I was like, "Okay, all right, cool." So he put me against the Tank, Billy Black, um, and it was pretty much a 2-on-1 squash match for my debut. But it was one of the biggest crowds I was ever in front of as a debut match. It was 350 people.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
So I got to piss off down East Maine and get my butt kicked in the process. So it was definitely an experience.
Right, you definitely got your foot in the door there.
Right.
So were you originally starting like in as a manager in the industry or
That's how I started. Yes.
yeah. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's fun. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You
Neil.
learn something
Neil.
new every
Neil.
day.
Neil invited me. He used to own a promotion, NCWE, Close Wrestling Entertainment back in the day. He came in and he asked me, "Hey, do you want to get involved more?" And the rest is history. I became half owner, and then again, I started doing some managerial stuff. Calling matches, and then you know, IWE versus NCWE stuff like that. So yeah, that's how it really started.
Oh, wow. I was gonna say, so I missed that era in IWE. Um,
Yeah.
I briefly I went to a show or two back in like, gosh, I'd say like 2010 or something like
Hmm.
that for IWE, and then I didn't go to another IWE show until like 2000, like 18, 19, something like that. It was pre-pandemic IWE, but
Right.
yeah, I just, that promotion was around for quite some time. So okay, so that sounds like quite the debut,
Yeah.
really. That's excellent. I like some people, have like that's actually a really cool story. Like out of like so far of all the guests I've had, that one's pretty cool. Um, so you've had the opportunity to work with, book, manage, you know, go toe to toe with so many amazing talents over the years. Who would be your biggest flex? Like that one talent that you're just like, hey, I got to work with this guy, like your low key brag.
Always first and foremost go to this one because nothing will ever top it. Was WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas in Island Falls. One of
That's
the
awesome.
most grateful performers, guys I've ever met in my life, and he gave me, a quick rundown of how the match was going to be, what we're going to do. I mean, really, really talking in the ring, helping me out. I mean, really, really big deal for me. So yeah, I think that was my biggest of my career.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I love if I have the opportunity to ever work with Tony Atlas, I always make sure I make time to go talk to him because if you
Absolutely.
have about 20 minutes and a spare ear, Tony has an amazing story from the road, from his personal life,
Yeah.
hell, his love for Jersey Mike's.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked like Tony and I have talked quite a bit from everything from uh his love of America to, like I said,
Mhm.
Jersey Mike's. And he said he loved going out to Ohio to work. And I'm like, oh, really? Why is that? And he's like, I'm just infatuated with the Amish. And I'm like, and I just love how he's like, they got such rich history, that them
Yeah.
Amish, and it's like I said, I love working with Tony. Actually, the first show that I ever ring announced for Tony Atlas was on. It was for a Vacation Land Pro show. Um, and I just remember, like, I met him. John introduced me to him, and he's like, "All right, Miss Prama, we gonna go have a mighty fine show." And I'm like, "Yes, we are." And then I remember he asked for a mic, and I gave it to him, and he did the Pledge of Allegiance, and did the good old American Tony Atlas, thing that he always does. Um, and then he leans back over the rope to hand me my mic, and he goes, You doing a mighty fine job, Miss Prama. And it's just like, he's never called me by my name. It is always Miss Prama, Mrs.
Yeah.
Prama. And I just let him go with it. I
Absolutely.
saw him at the Limitless Rumble back in January. He had a table there, signing autographs and selling like his art and such. And I walked past and go, Mrs. Prama, don't you walk past me without saying hello. You know, he looked busy. I wasn't gonna like go
Absolutely. You're
and
right.
yeah, like
Right.
such a sweetheart. And it's just
Yep.
he's definitely, if you have Tony Atlas on your like resume at all, that is probably one of the biggest flexes to have because he's such an incredible human
He
to work.
is
And he's
in
a
and
safe
out.
worker,
Mhm.
and he just loves to just the art of performing,
Yep.
and the art of sports entertainment. So, but um so let's kind of go back in time here a little bit.
Cool.
Let's revert back here. Is there anything from when you first, got your foot in the door of professional wrestling up until now? Is there anything that you would change? Or would you go about doing things differently?
Uh, First and foremost, would have been starting earlier. I started at 30 years old. So, if I would have, back in the day, started earlier, get, much more training and getting into more as a younger guy, I think would have been a lot more avenues out there. But again, I can't change that. I don't dislike what I've done in my career.
Mhm.
Um, Everything's been great uh, for the most part. So yeah, that would be the only thing I really would change
'Cause
is
you wish,
starting
yeah,
earlier.
for sure. That's something that I hear a lot, to be honest with you. And then some people also, I've had a few friends of mine that are in the business that have had to retire due to medical,
Mhm.
situations. And I've had them say, I wish I worked smarter or I safer, or I wish I
Mhm.
didn't do so many of those hardcore go through table matches, or,
Yeah,
or I wish I stopped sooner, you
right.
know, um, for sure. And I mean, from what I've heard, anyways, being married to someone who is currently a retired professional wrestler and not on his terms, it's hard, but he says, he doesn't regret getting done. However, he misses the hell out of it. He'll be like, "Babe,
Of course.
I had a dream that I was wrestling again." And I'm like, so I'll be like, "All right, go on." He didn't actually do it. He didn't actually take bumps. So of course I want to hear about it, because
Right,
he's
right.
being safe. Even though he did oh my gosh, he gave someone a cutter last weekend at Phoenix Pro, and I was managing someone, and I was managing the person he gave the cutter to, and my reaction was very real. I wanted to kick his ass. Oh my gosh, I was so pissed. My husband, who shouldn't be doing anything
Right.
in ring right now, decided to come out and give someone a cutter, and I'm like, "Holy shit." Like, I'm planning on posting the video up with the reaction to that because someone caught it,
Sure.
and it is cinematic. So, um, let's see here. So, what sparked your interest? Like, really, like, nailed down the fact that this is a business you wanna be a part of.
I like the different people I've met. Um, even though with the ups and downs of the business, the connections, um, the places I've been. Um, like I said, having my tag team, hype man, on the road. I mean, he's been a big part of, who I am today. Um, so I wouldn't change any of those things. I mean, that's what kept me going.
Okay. Um, so, like, where's the furthest, like, you've been out? Like, you said, like, all the places you've been and stuff. Like, where's been, like, your favorite, like, non-local location to, like, go and work? Because I know, like, you're working rep here in the great state of Maine, but like, where have you been? Like,
Um, I'm gonna try to work my way down. Um, well, I can start from the top actually. I did a couple of shows in Canada with Ultimate Championship Wrestling. That was Marcus Burke's territory. Did it one in Evanston, New Brunswick, and one in St. Jacques, New Brunswick. Also did a show for ETWA, Eastern Townships Wrestling Association, who's based out of Vermont. They had a Quebec show, and I was there to do one of the shows there. ETWA, Vermont. I was there for 2018, no, 2017 to 2022.
oh wow.
Of course, yeah, the 2 years of the whole pandemic, that really did, kind of put a halt on it. But that was one of my favorite places to go with Ray. Um, my last match that I had back in September, I went all the way to Groton, Connecticut,
Oh wow.
and wrestled for OWR.
Oh
And
yes,
I
yes,
tell you,
that's
yeah,
Lou and Cindy's promotion.
yeah, yeah,
We love Lou Jacobs and Cindy Hart out at OWR, and we're actually going to be having them on a future episode because I'm about ready to do like a power couple segment, like the power couples of
fantastic.
pro wrestling. And
Yeah,
when you really think about it, they're it. Like they're one of them for
absolutely.
sure. Like they're both in the
Yeah,
business, but they also run the business. So, it's really fun. So OWR, that's cool. Did you
yeah,
yeah, sorry.
yeah, and I did a few shows for UFO Wrestling in Massachusetts,
Wow.
and did one in Rhode Island, I think. Yeah, I was in Rhode Island for MAW, a couple of shows. Did one in New Hampshire for WAW. I mean, like I said, all over New England, some in Canada. But yeah, been around.
That's excellent. I was gonna say I have not traveled out past the state of Maine. Would love to
Hmm.
eventually. If the opportunity, arises to do so. But like I mean, we've definitely like being married to a professional wrestler, we have definitely traveled, like Island Falls. You mentioned Island Falls earlier. Yeah, we trekked up there once. Like it was a interesting little spot. Killer show for Let's Wrestle.
Yeah,
That was really quite interesting. So, but s- so that's, so much like I love hearing stories from the road. Like and every guest I've had on so far is always has something to share about their times on the road, which is great to hear that you've been pretty well spread over.
yeah.
So with over these years and over, the variety of places you have been, can you like narrow down it doesn't have to be just one because no one ever has just one. Sorry, it's impossible.
Sure.
But what would be one of your favorite moments of your career?
This one pops in my head first and foremost because it happened in 2024 in is it Amesbury or Everett, Mass. For UFO Wrestling, and it was a triple threat with the Outlaw, Wyatt Holiday, and Lucha Kid, and we're going for the UFO tag team titles against the Big Islanders, Hoku and Makua.
Oh dang.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that was an experience in itself. We didn't win, but we got to wrestle in front of John Cena's father.
Yes.
Yeah, that
I've heard
was
he's
huge.
quite the guy
Yes, he
to
is.
have on a show. So I've had many opportunities to go to a show with John Cena Sr. on it. I was booked for a show where he was booked on it. Um, but have not had the opportunity to work with him yet, but I've heard so many great things.
Yeah.
Um, so okay. So
Biggest compliment he gave us, me and Ray, he says he loved our gimmick. He loved our gimmick. And I was like, all right, if I die tomorrow, I'm good.
right? It's just like when you
Uh,
get like those tiny nods from
yeah,
people in the business, like, okay, you because this is definitely one of my favorite moments, and you were you actually were able to capture it the best, was when we had Ken Kennedy on at Maine
Yep.
Premier Wrestling, and the gentleman that did our video package, I don't know, we've had a couple of people with their hands in it. It's no big deal, and I'm not here to talk shit. But there was not any footage of me at all announcing Ken Kennedy. And I mean, I did the Mr. Anderson.
Yep.
Um, I did the whole, Mr. Like, I'm not gonna
Yep.
do it because that's a lot. To be hollering on a podcast, but and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no footage of me anywhere. There was a couple of blurry fan photos, and that was it. And I'm like, oh my god, like one of the biggest things that I've ever done, and there's no documentation. And then like you messaged me with a video that you got from like up where our hard cam was, and you just got it perfect. Like there was a few like Landon Cross got some
Yep.
good video footage of it, but you got I didn't so Ken was standing behind me, like
Yep.
and off to the side. So I could kind of see what him, but I wasn't paying attention. I was in the zone. And you just caught him just looking at me and just being like absorbing what I was doing. And then he's like, Anderson. And he's
Yeah.
just pointing at me like she got it. And then
Yep.
I go to do the rest of my spiel and he stops me and he's like, hey, great job. But next time, more bass. And I'm like, got it. And I'm like, more balls. Got it.
I got that
But
all
luckily that
on the
didn't get
video.
caught on the sound. I said more balls, got it. And
Yeah.
I did the gesture and I'm like, but you caught it.
Yeah.
Like but anyways, so but that right there, like just that little like you did good. Next time, more bass. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay. Like you caught that. Just like I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. If I don't ever ring announce again, I can just say like I had that opportunity, and it's great to have to hang on to memories like that. I mean, the Ken Anderson booking up here, there was a lot of cool components that went along with that, like things that happened and stuff like that. Like, we won't get too much into detail, but I got pulled over with Ken Anderson in my car. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there. He wasn't impressed with how the officer was speaking to me. And I just looked at him and I'm like, with all due respect, sir, please shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Because we were late getting to the seminar that
Yeah.
we were like bringing him to. I'm like, sir, please shut up. Like, so, but anyways, so
Well,
um
I'm glad I got that for you. So.
yeah, I am too. Like, shout out to you and Landon Cross for definitely having my back on that. There was someone else that got a good video of it, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was a super fan of ours, and
Mhm.
but all right, here's a fun one. I actually love asking this one. Out of all the moves you've taken, what move would you absolutely never want to take again?
Well, I'm a big guy, so I don't get in the air very often. Um, I have two. It is okay if I say two.
Yes, of course.
First one was an opponent in ETWA in Vermont, and what he did was he would put you on his shoulders, and he had a lot of power for the size he was. Put me on his shoulders, and he would spin me around continuously, continuously, to the point where I started, my head started spinning, and I was getting dizzy. I don't like that. And
No,
then he
that
would,
sounds like the Perry go round. Perry, the
yeah,
monster truck, Perry Von Vicious.
yeah. But
That's
it wasn't Perry. It was wrestling named Jobs.
yes.
And yeah, I didn't like that move very much. I had to take it twice against him. I don't want to be in the air like that again.
I don't blame you.
And then
Um,
the other one is a cousin Larry chop. No, thank you. That's all I'm gonna say.
you say that and it's automatic. You just like I've never received a chop from cousin Larry before, but I have received chops before, but like
No.
Larry's are nasty. They're like
Hmm.
Gunther level
Hmm.
chops. They're
Yes, they
gross.
are.
They look great and they sound great, but they also sound really gross, like, as in,
Mm.
like, mm, no, thank you, because he'll leave welts, man, for, like you're rocking a Cousin Larry signature handprint for at least
Yeah,
24 to 48 hours,
yeah,
like,
definitely.
so, okay. That's great. I love that, like and we all have a Larry Huntley story, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yes, we
I
do.
love that, like,
Yep.
I've always loved, like, working like, my husband's had the opportunity to work on fair shows with Larry, and I've worked, for Larry, like, doing announcing here and there, for NAWA, which is a great promotion that we have up here in the state, but yeah, like, I don't know, like, there's so many great promotions up here in the great state of Maine, and it's been great that we've all had the opportunity to at least dabble in them a little bit,
Cool. Yep.
like you were formerly of Crown and Maine Wrestling, and
Hmm.
you also were formerly of, and still, who knows, the Psycho Mark Allen King of New England Battle Royale is coming up in June. You never know for Maine
Never
Premier
know.
Wrestling.
Never
So,
know.
oof, to have that crazy Canadian come through those curtains again, man, that would get a pop and a half, or not. I don't know,
Or not. Right.
or not, because you were definitely the guys. Yeah, yeah. You guys had such amazing energy when you came and worked for MPW. It was fun, and I definitely had fun giving you shit, and vice versa. Um, you calling me a stupid American, or it was you or Ray. You stupid American.
I
Save
think it
the
was Ray that
kid.
said that, but yeah, it was as soon as we got the first boo, we knew we had the crowd. And that's all we want is to give a show to the fans and have them enjoy it. Just have fun yourself.
I loved it.
So it was great. It's always been great working for MPW. I loved every single second of it. Opponents, the heat from the fans. I mean, I loved every second of it. I loved it. I
We
loved the
we have
promotion.
some killer fans up here
Mm,
in the state of Maine alone.
mm,
I mean, it's insane and I love it. And if you're a heel in this business and you can like get a good reaction out of like whether it be just one in particular fan or the crowd in general, like you're doing your job. I had a kid literally
absolutely.
launch at me last weekend out of his chair and start swinging because I mocked him or something. I was doing manager work, and that's when I'm the biggest heel on the planet, and this kid got mad because I took a bat to Teddy Henderson, and
Yeah.
you don't hit Teddy ever again. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And he just went boom. I'm
Oh
just
yeah, there we go.
like, holy shit, someone handle your kid. But
Right.
like, but if you get that kind of reaction, you know you're doing your job right. And
Absolutely.
I know Hey Belle Poutine definitely got some that you had some beautiful heat at MPW and I loved it. I'm a sucker for a good heel team anyways, so you guys were good with me, even though, some things were said. However, I did pronounce your name Jake Lewis Francis, so I guess I
Yeah.
deserve that.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone wants to know, it is Jacques Louis Francais,
That's
not
it.
Jake Lewis Francis.
Correct.
Um, so here I am squirreling again, but that's okay because I'm the super squirrel here at Friends of the Squared Circle. What would be a bucket list promotion? Like, I know right now you're taking a little bit of a break from professional wrestling, which is totally cool. Because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care? What I mean? Like, be
Right.
safe in the ring.
Right.
Um, is there a bucket list promotion that you would want to work for? Like, once you decide, once you're back at it, like,
Um,
or
I
promotion?
do. I do. Probably not a platform that I'll ever get to, but obviously it's a bucket list thing. It would be limitless. Again, probably never happen, but again, I'll give a shout out to Limitless. But
Love
their sister company, I did a small bit with the Big Cat. Let's Wrestle in Island Falls. Would love to do something again with Let's Wrestle.
Let's
So
Wrestle
when we
is a
come back up
great
there.
little company,
Yeah,
and of course, Yeah, Limitless is definitely on my bucket list also.
Mhm.
Randy Carver knows how to book a show. He knows how to run a
Yep.
company and run it well. He keeps everyone safe.
Hmm.
And he just really straps rockets to a lot of these guys' asses, you know? I mean,
Hmm.
how many people have you seen on a Limitless show are now on grander stages like AEW?
Absolutely.
Um, One of my favorite Limitless clips is Danhausen versus Alexander Lee, Gangrel, and another gentleman whom I don't remember, but
Right.
Danhausen worked for Limitless. And
Yep.
now look at him making plans for WrestleMania Hausen,
Yep.
or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
So
Right.
I think that's great. But so Limitless and Let's Wrestle again.
Yep. Another one I've been trying to reach out. I know who the owner is, but and new what's it, World Wrestling Extreme. He's down in Rhode Island, Massachusetts area. I've been trying to get on that show forever, so that's another bucket list item. I'd like to get on at least a show, just to to prove that I can hang with the big boys down there.
Hmm.
So that'd be
It's a
another
great
one.
promotion.
So yeah, those would be my the ones I'm looking at right now.
Yeah. I say those are definitely I totally forgot about that last promotion a little bit.
Mhm.
That's definitely a that would be a really rad promotion to see you on for sure.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, there's so many great promotions out there. Like the big ones for me, like I said, Limitless, Let's Wrestle.
Hmm.
I'm a big fan of oh my gosh, his name escapes me. Cabba Wrestle, though. That's another big one. I believe that's down in Rhode Island or Massachusetts.
I'm
I'm so
quite
embarrassed
sure.
that I forget where it's located right now, but our girl Taylor One Shot of Wrestling with
Yeah.
Pride here on the Friends of the Squared Circle Network just did the transgender takeover last night with Kappa Wrestle, and it was a huge event. And guys, if you are not following Taylor One Shot, I highly recommend that you do follow Wrestling with Pride and all of our other friends on the Friends of the Squared Circle Network. Let's see. So, all right. Bucket list promotions. You have some pretty good ones there. So again, you're allowed to have more than one on this next question. Any
Sure.
question really, because yeah, I have like multiple answers for everything. What has been your biggest accomplishment in your wrestling career or accomplishments? Because I know you've done some solo work, you've done tag work, you do great things in both, so
Um, I think the biggest accomplishment as far as I see is when Ray and I won the EPWA Tag Team Championships in the main event and taking it off the Ultimate Powers. We had so much heat. We had such a great feud with them. The crowd was riled up every single time. We had a great storyline going, and then COVID happened, and it just demolished every single angle, the amount of work we put into it. But yeah, we main evented that, and we won the titles. And I have never ever heard a gym sound so quiet because they were so shocked that we got the titles.
wow.
Yeah, and they were in disbelief. Of course, we won in controversial way, but that's how you gain heat. I mean, that's how it goes. But that would be a monumental one for me. Another one would be the inaugural match for the MPW Tag Team titles with Big Cat and Dylan Mix. That was huge. You know, um, we didn't win it, but it just put
I'm
us
telling
out
you,
there.
the Wild, a lot of people, I don't know, they're a tag team that, like, you didn't think you needed it, and then you saw them, and it's like, "Holy
Hmm.
shit," like and they've really, really, like, have come a long way, like, they
Yeah.
recently, like, Dylan Nix too is doing some solo stuff, and he's incredible, and then both of those boys also have a podcast, which you were recently on also,
Yep.
so it's like we're all taking care of each other here. But like, yeah, that's the Wild is definitely a tag team that if anyone out there running a promotion is looking for a really solid tag team, book my boys in
Yep.
the Wild. Look them
Yep.
up on the per sessions. You know what I mean? They're an incredible team. And like I said, they had one hell of a banger with with Hyper Poutine. Um, Sorry, listen, I haven't been able to say that for a little while, so I'm gonna be like, how many times can I say Hyper Poutine?
I think I know it's sad to say that we could have done a lot more in the tag team division with them, but with Ray's injury and him having to be pretty much retired from in-ring competition, that I hate to say it, that we could have done a lot more storyline purpose wise,
No,
and
absolutely. You guys
so
definitely had quite the build up there, but I mean, as the industry says, cards subject to change,
mm,
you know,
yeah,
um, that was a really nasty. I remember, like,
mm,
I was thinking, oh man, he's really selling it. And then someone's like, he's not selling it, dude. He's really hurt. And I'm like, and then I saw it was his knee, right?
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
remember seeing his leg. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm
As soon
like,
as he got into as soon as he got into that ring and he like just collapsed, I knew right away that he was injured before anybody else really knew. Uh, I remember Mo Tardy, he was the ref for our match,
mm-hmm.
and he was about to throw up the X to call the match. I was like, no, Mo, just I'll bring him to the corner, we'll finish the match. And then when I came, I don't know if it was Big Cat or Dylan Nix, I think it was Dylan Nix. We put our heads together and said, hey, let's just go home. Let's finish the match. And that was actually where we had the titles for a few minutes, and then we had to restart the match because of how we finished it, and he was already injured. So I told Dylan and Tyler, I was like, hey, listen, let's just do your thing on me, bring it home, let's finish the match, because we knew Ray was done. He was done for the rest of the night. And then I actually had to take him straight to the hospital up here right away, like
I remember.
to get him checked up. Yeah, so it was a long night.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I completely just, I remember that night, but like now, like it's all like coming back and stuff
Yeah,
like that. And it's like, man, that was just like, that was quite a bummer. But
yeah,
you guys had such a good run though at
we did.
MPW.
We did.
And we're grateful that you guys were there to help build up our tag division.
Absolutely.
So I
Honors
know,
our honors all ours. I mean, having us there was a great honor to work with AEW. It was great that you guys wanted us there, and we did the best we could.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, the crowd, like I said, the crowd loved you, hated you, loved to hate you. Um,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
like I said, my father is not a huge fan of professional wrestling. He never has been, but he let me watch it anyways. He's like, "Hey, I like those French guys that gave you shit." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, good because I'm like, hey, my dad's here. You guys want to do the stupid American bit?"
that's
So
awesome. I love
and
that.
he still talks about it, They're
Great.
like, "Oh, we're going to Skowhegan for a show." He goes, "Oh, are those Canadians gonna be there?" I'm like, "I don't think so." And he goes, "Oh man, that was, I'm like, "Well, we have Wesley Pipes on the bill." And he goes, "No, not that guy. I'm talking the two guys, the tag team guys." I'm like, "Oh yeah, the Hyper Poutine guys." He's like, "Yeah." So, but I love that.
Well,
I
I'm
don't
glad
know.
you made an impression on him. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
That's great.
yes. Um, for sure. Those were some good times for sure.
Yeah,
So, right now, you know, taking a little bit of a break from professional wrestling. And again, there is nothing wrong with that, folks. If you need to pump the brakes and slow down for a little bit, do it.
yep,
Be smart, especially if you're new in the business. Take your time.
yep,
Get yourself looked at. Don't think it's just a headache. It could be something more than that.
yep.
Speaking firsthand. Um, so what would you like to see, like, when you're ready? What would you like to see your future in this business look like?
Well, I'm looking at some point. I'm hoping this year, but just finish up my couple few more matches and hang up the boots because I've been talking about it for a while and it's just got to be done. It was a nice break, get a few more in, and then just hang it up and be a fan again.
Right.
So yeah, I got a few events coming up. I got one next weekend for Global Independent Wrestling with Ryan. Um, and then next one will probably be actually maybe in June. You may see in MPW. Don't know yet.
You know what they say in
Um,
this business, never say
yeah,
never, right?
right. And Ring Wars 9, I'll be there in October.
Oh, right on.
But
Yeah, for
yeah, it's out on the
the
PA for the
final
final. Yeah,
the final show for
gotta
Maine's Mutant Mastodon.
pay my respects and homage to a guy who's taught me a lot in the business. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now in the near future. It's not much left not much gas left in the tank. I'm ready to hang up the boots soon enough. So
Now, even though, and I mean, there is nothing wrong with stepping away from in ring, would you ever or could you possibly see yourself doing behind the scenes work like in the
oh,
future at all for
I, absolutely,
yeah.
I'm always open to that. Yeah, absolutely, yes.
I was gonna say you got a great noggin, man, like you have a noggin for doing the behind the scenes creative stuff. So has I've seen a glimpse of it here and there, when you used to work for us at MPW. So that's great because, I not a lot of people realize there's so many layers to this business.
Hmm.
Like I started off literally just being a wrestler's wife. I took pictures for all the boys, make sure that they got them for their Facebook, pages, and then some company forgot to book a ring announcer, and I'm like, I can read off of a piece of paper, and then
Hmm.
it just all snowballed from there. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
But there's so many components, so many
absolutely,
components, and I'm glad that
absolutely.
you're not completely shutting the door and that you're still going to want to
Right.
be involved
Oh, of
because
course.
if we're not involved, like the sport would die. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm not trying to sound biased, but the great state of Maine, we have some amazing promotions, and if it wasn't for our fans and such, like we wouldn't be here. Um,
Exactly. Yep.
and speaking of which, we got super fan Keith Hartford. Hey, how you both doing? Doing pretty well, Keith. Thank you
Hey,
so much
Keith.
for popping on. Guys, Keith Hartford literally has never missed an episode. Not a single one. I'm gonna have to come up with something for you, Keith, because like you're amazing. You log in, you ask questions. Keith, you're actually really good at coming up with some unique questions. If you want, pop a couple in the comment section for Vaughn, please go for it. And while we are waiting for that, what this we're getting ready to wrap up here, folks.
Okay.
But Vaughn, what would you tell someone that really wanted to get into this business that, they might still have the rose-colored glasses on, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, what would you tell someone wanting that's eager to get into this business?
Sure. All I'm gonna say is, to start off, is brace yourself. It is a very tough business. You can't go in all naive and not knowing what's going on. You have to have some kind of uh, knowledge about the business. Um, get as much training, get as much time, put in as much work as you can. Show these promoters what you can do in and out of the ring as far as helping set up rings, running the camera, anything they need. Show your face, ask questions, um, be there. It's not gonna come in, fall into your lap. You actually got to work. I may have been in the business for 15 years and I worked my butt off with what I accomplished, and a lot. Sometimes it wasn't really easy, ups and downs, traveling the road. But if you have your mindset on this career, put the work in. Put the work in. Listen to the veterans. Listen to in the locker room. Any knowledge you can get from these guys will help you on your road to success. So that's all I got to say about that.
That's some really, really solid advice. Because, not a lot of, like I said, some kids come into this business the rose-colored glasses on, and
Hmm.
they're like, "Yeah, cool, I work out. I can throw some guys." No, like, you need to
No.
train. You need to put the work in. I have seen in the short period that I've been in this, been involved with wrestling, um, like, I've seen people working their way up, you know, paying their dues, setting up rings, setting up chairs, and then going and throwing on a black polo to go work security and then tear
Right.
down, clean
Yep.
up. I saw what was it? It was a Phoenix Pro this past weekend. Actually, we had a guy came in, set up the ring, went and threw on his black polo to work, like security and stuff like that. And then we had to pencil in another guy because someone was running super late and where the match
Yep.
late on the card. We need to have another body in the ring. And he's like, I have my gear in my car. So this guy literally like pulled a Mick Foley and just like boom, boom, boom was like three different people all in one night,
Right.
and
Yep.
it was incredible. So that's really solid advice to be completely honest. Um, that's like the best advice I've probably heard so far on this podcast. But it's true. One of the biggest things, like when I hear people being like, "Oh, I want to get into it too," and I'm like, first off, buckle up. That's why I
Hmm.
normally say it's like buckle up because you know
Not
it's
easy.
it's not it's not a cakewalk.
No.
There's gonna be drama, like
Yep.
bleh. And then you know, um, you gotta do the work, like you
Yep.
said. And you can't just walk in, waltz in, and be like, I don't set rings up. Well, then what are you doing here? Even though, I haven't. Oh hey, I guess he's home. Hi, John.
What's up, Primer?
Yes. And folks, stay tuned to the Primetime with Legends podcast page because we have a big announcement coming up. And Mr. Johnny Primer is more than excited to tell you about it, but I'm going to let him tell you, even though as much as I want to tell everybody, this is my podcast, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to talk about my future guests, but anyway, so we do have a question from, speaking of fellow podcasters, from the Beyond the Crown podcast. Who do you think has a bright future from Crown of Maine Wrestling, a promotion that you formerly worked for?
Yeah. Logan Lennox used to be Lucha Kid. I've since day one, I've told him that you keep working at it. You're gonna do
Freaking
great. You're
love
gonna do big
Lucha
things.
Kid.
Yeah. He hasn't shown nothing to me. But, he's shown me nothing but respect. He's worked his butt off to see where he's at. Um, and hopefully, from Crown of Maine, leads to something bigger for him because I see him with big opportunities out there. Hopefully, he has the son of mind to reach out to the other promotions in Maine to start out and put your name out there because you're gonna go places, kid. I'm telling you.
This is true, guys. So, Lucha Kid, book him. Seriously, he is an amazing worker. He's worked a couple shows for Maine Premier Wrestling, and he shows up, he puts the work in, he puts on a killer show, and then comes back, and he just does it all over again. Um, Definitely, and he's super young too. So, like,
Mm.
he's got like the whole world ahead of him in this business, and
Absolutely.
he's got a pretty good start. So, um, let's see here. Ooh, we got some people. Um, ooh, all right. So, John Lovell, um, who are people to watch on the main wrestling scene? Who do you feel is someone we really should keep our eyeballs on?
Um, well, I was gonna say Alec Price, but he's moved on to bigger and better things as of recently. Limitless that they called that out. I see Ace going back out there big. He's been working his butt off to get to a level where he's you know able to move as much as he can move. Um,
Right, he's like half the size as what he was when he was in
yeah,
with Impact. So,
right.
and I mean that doesn't, size doesn't really matter in this company.
No,
However,
absolutely
like
not.
like you said, he put in the work and he's kicking ass, taking names. He's doing some amazing things with Limitless right now.
Yeah.
So definitely someone to watch for sure. Ace Romero. Okay.
I like Hazard 23.
Oh
His
my
name
gosh.
on Mercury.
Yes.
He's like I said, I love heels. He plays it to a T. I think
Yes.
he's the one to watch out for. Um, oh boy, I'm trying to think. There's a lot of up and coming stars that are starting out that have a chance. It's just like I said, you just got to put in the work and get your name out there because once you do that and you take it seriously, you've seen it. The stars going to AEW, WWE, NXT. I mean, they win there. Major League Wrestling, they've been there. So if you want to be there, you just gotta focus and put in the work.
Speaking of MLW, us here at the Main Event with Meglaval and the Friends of the Squared Circle umbrella would like to wish a speedy recovery to the Atrocity Cruel.
Oh, I just heard about that. Yeah,
Yes,
unreal.
he was stabbed by a fan at a show this weekend, and
Yeah.
it's just it's crazy how, like, we were talking about how fans can be and stuff, and then you
Hmm.
see something like that happen, and it's just unreal. So, sending prayers and speedy recovery vibes
Absolutely.
to the Atrocity Cruel. He's probably one of my top flexes that I have worked with, for
Yeah.
sure, and we wish nothing but the best for you, bud, and, speedy healing.
Get
Um,
well, man.
so we are going to wrap this up with one. I'm not gonna lie, this is a really good question.
Okay.
It's like a Barbara Walters level question, and
Oh
it comes
boy.
from right. I love a good one like this, man.
All right.
Um, Beyond the Crown podcast would like to know. You mentioned hang up your boots, which is something that we all have to do one day.
Yeah.
So Vaughn, will you be retiring with Crown of Maine?
Like I said, um,
Or would you where let's I'm going to
uh,
take your question beyond the crown. I'm going to twist it a little bit here. Okay? Is there a promotion that you would prefer to hang your like where would be the promotion you'd like to hang your boots up at?
no, I would love to retire in the promotion that I I was the one that owned and built with the help of others, obviously, but I would love to retire with CMW. I just want to make sure that it's the time and place is right, and the idea of what it's going to entail. I have no problems, but I would love, absolutely love to retire in the CMW ring.
That would be a beautiful thing, that's for sure. Oh, hold on. Oh my goodness, we have some fans with silly questions now. My goodness. Jacques, what is going on with the hair? From Miss Leah
So
McCormick.
I've seen the style with these kids nowadays where they have these bangs going on here. So
Yeah.
I tried it out a little bit, I coiffed the hair a little bit, to look like those teenage boys now. I don't know if it's working or not, but
I don't
I
know if
thought I'd
you
try it out.
well, that's all right. Johnny Primer also has got a similar look now.
Yeah,
He once he retired, he chopped off the signature Johnny Primer locks.
yeah.
Took me at least a month and a half to adjust to, but now he's got the swag, we'll just call it, going on now. So, it's a good look for you. Let's, see where it goes. So I will say this though, you're definitely out of my guess though. No one can beat the best hair in the business, and that would be Ethan Scott of Limitless Wrestling. Kid's got the most like luscious locks in professional wrestling that I have ever
Yeah.
seen. But um, Vaughn, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on our show tonight. And um, anytime you'd like to come back. And fans, if you want to see Vaughn come back, maybe a little later down the road, let's catch up with him. Let's see how things are going. Let's see if he's gonna hang those boots up yet. You know, like the world of professional wrestling says, never say never. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to following everything that you plan on doing in your future. you have given me zero reason to have beef with you. You've been an amazing worker whenever I've worked with you and stuff, and very respectable. And I wish you nothing but the best for your future whenever you do decide to come back. It will be a warm welcome or not. You know, um, well, you come into the
Uh,
business. If you're a heel, it may not be as warm, but if the heat's good, though, keep going with it.
right.
So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, make these videos go viral. Don't forget to check out Friends of the Squared Circle, Prime Time with Legends, Wrestling with Pride, and of course, the Main Event with Meg Lavelle. And remember, folks, when you're here with us, you are the main event. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you soon.